everybody. Welcome. It is Monday night. It is our time together, and I've been looking forward to this all day and actually all weekend as well. So I'll wait for a few of you guys to join me. If you have not been a part of one of my lives before, basically the way that I work is I will tune into spirit. I'll ask for messages to come through for people from their loved ones, spirit guides, and angels. At some point, I will also jump into the chat and answer questions. So if there's things you want to ask about, whether it be like, a question about somebody in spirit, or whether it be like, does Bob down the street love? Okay, I think it's working. Can you guys hear me, see me, all of that? For whatever reason, my internet decided it didn't want to net or enter for a second. So please let me know if this is still working. I'm hoping hoping that it is. Um, yes, so I'll wait for a minute or two to make sure that we are golden. Okay, cool. Somebody says you're back. I am. Excellent. Okay, so if you have never been to one of my lives before, basically the way that I work is I'll tune into spirit. I'll ask for messages to come through for people from loved ones, spirit guides, angels. And then at some point when I'm done that, I'll come into the chat. I'll answer questions for you guys, whether it be about people who have passed or the future or things that you want to ask about. The only thing that I ask is that you share my live. So if you are interested in getting a message or a reading, just share it and then put the word shared next to your question. That way I know that you have. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, you're psychic. You should know if I have or not. And to be honest, it just doesn't work like that, at least for me. Let's get going. So we've got about 234 people with us, which is awesome. So let's take a look and see who comes through. So I'm just going to take a minute and tune in. And I'm asking that my loved ones and spirit guides step forward to help me bring through messages and information for people from their loved ones, and spirit guides, and angels. Here we go. All right, message number one. I'm getting a young man coming in. So this is again somebody who's passed on. He comes in as very young. I could even put him in as a teenager or maybe in his early 20s. He's showing me the number 17 in the month of January is important to him. So that could be birth, death, or something else of significance. He's immediately showing me that he passed away in a car accident. He's showing me 11 p.m. as his either time of passing or when people had found out that he had passed on. But I can see that. He's also saying that in addition to passing in a car accident. He also is telling me that he had epilepsy or some kind of a seizure disorder. He's also telling me that he's connected with a Janet, who I believe is on Earth still. He's also talking about John as well as Ron or Ronald, and he's bringing these names through. And Mary, no, I think it's Marissa, is another name that's coming in connected with this young man. He's also showing me August, September is important to him. So again, that could be birth, death, or something else of significance. I want to say as well, I do not feel like his epilepsy was a factor in his passing. So this is very important. He's wanting to come forward for a woman who is alive that is connected to him. I believe it to be a mother figure or a female that he looked up to like a mother. And he's also saying that she's been having back problems or back pain or something like that. And he says, yes, it is me. I am I'm the butterflies that you're seeing at the window. So he's bringing that through, and he's coming through with a lot of love for you. He says, don't worry, that the back pain issues are going to get better. They're going to get sorted out. It's going to take time, he says, but it is something that will improve for you. Okay. So that was message number one. He took up the whole page. So we'll get a new piece of paper. Let's see. If they're not stuck together, that would be great. All right, there we go. Okay, let's get a second message here. All right, I'm getting an older female coming forward for message number 2. She comes in as a grandmother vibration. I also want to say that at her end of life, she was having issues within her brain or maybe even her mind. I want to say that the month of May is connected to her. She's also showing me the third of a month is connected to her as well. So again, this could be birth, death, or something else of significance. So she's talking about this brain or mind thing as a contributing factor to her passing, but she's also talking about a bowel obstruction at the very end of life. So I think that this is somehow factored into this. And then she's showing me my symbol for blood infection. So I feel like she had kind of a lot of things going on at the very end of her life. She's talking about a man who is alive that struggles with alcoholism or addictions. She is sending him a lot of healing. She's acknowledging that he's distant from family or very cut off from family, maybe even estranged. She says, don't worry, he's going to be okay. And she is saying that there is a chance that he will come back towards family, and it will be up to everybody to kind of sort that out, because I feel like the reason for his disconnection, at least in part, is his addiction. So she is bringing that through as well. She's also wanting to bring my attention to a man that is with her on this in the spirit world. I feel like he was also elderly at his time of passing. I feel like he passed away from a heart issue. He's actually showing me blockages, specifically blockages in his heart, in the arteries of his heart. And he is also saying that he served in the military or something, because he's showing me a military or service uniform of some kind. He's also saying that the dog, there's a dog there with him in spirit as well. The dog is there with him. He is saying that this dog went missing and nobody ever found it. And this happened a long time ago. He's telling me this is not recent. This was a long time ago, but this dog is there with him. And I just saw a tire track, so I feel like this dog may have passed away on the road. But they are also in a very good place, and definitely coming forward to share their love with family on Earth. Okay. So that was message number 2. Message number 3, I'm getting another woman coming forward, and she comes in as sort of middle-aged. I feel like she was one of those people that had the ability to have a lot of fun. I feel like she was one of those people that would laugh and like all day long. That was her thing. I want to say she passed away from cancer. She's not a very big writer, apparently. She passed away from cancer or an illness that spread through the body or moved around. She's also bringing me to just at the turn of the year. So to me, this is like beginning of January or something like that is important to her. So that could be birth, death, or something else is significant. She's also talking about this gathering that would happen, like kind of like a family reunion. And she laughed and she said, "You can call it that, but really it was a drunk fest." And she's laughing. And this happened, I think it was the second or third week in August every year. She's showing me this lake and she's showing me this sort of cottage country area. So I guess people gathered in a place like that. She's talking about burn, something like that, as well. I don't know if that person's on Earth or in spirit, but she is bringing that through. She's showing me 5679308, 567-9308. So this might have been her phone number or is somehow connected to her on some level. She's showing me Aspen Way, Aspen Way. It's like a street sign in my mind. I can see the ASPN WAY. But what's weird is I also see RD at the end of that. So it's like Aspen Way Road. I thought a way was a road, but I guess I could be wrong. But she's bringing that through as well. I feel like she could either be like an aunt figure or something like that to somebody who's either watching this now or will watch this later. She's coming through with that kind of an energy. And I think she was one of those people that just loved to be around other people. I think that she loved to connect with people. I think she was one of those people that brought the party with her. I think she was a very vibrant woman. I also want to say that she's bringing me to April, May, as well as important to her. So, again, that could be birth, death, or something else of significance. And she's also saying that her last moments on earth were incredibly peaceful. She's showing me 3 p.m. is important to her. So, that could be her time of passing. But she is bringing this through as um, such a positive energy, and she's bringing this through as a positive her loved ones wanting to know that she's there. I got distracted by the chat, guys. I apologize. So that was message number 3. All right, let's keep going. Message number 4. I'm getting a mother figure coming in from spirit, but I think she was kind of older, if not elderly, at her time of passing. She's giving me the name Rita is important to her. So Rita somehow fits in with this. It could be her name, could be somebody else's name, but that name is coming in, as well as Edward, also important, and Steve or Stephen, also important here. So again, these people could be on earth, could be in spirit. I can never tell. I just give you what I see and hear and all of that. She's also giving me this feeling when she passed away. It was very, very quick, very sudden and unexpected. I want to say that she passed away in her sleep. I also feel that she was found, and she's showing me 3. So it could be 3 hours later, 3 days later. I don't feel like it was 3 weeks, 3 months, or 3 years later, but she's giving me the number 3 of when people found out that she had passed away. She's bringing me into the backyard, and I can see blueberries and raspberries and all of these things. So I think she may have had a large garden where she grew things like that. She's also talking about a ring that you have that belongs to a man that's in spirit, and the ring has a shield on it. And I think there's even a cross on the shield. I can see it's like a round gold ring. It looks kind of big, and I can see there's a shield with a cross or something in the middle of it. He says hello, but he's not stepping forward, but she says he says hello. So that is message number 4. They're wanting to say that at this time in your path, they're wanting you to know that things, even though they feel very all over the map and you don't really know what to focus on, and you feel like you're kind of moving in weird directions and you're unsure of where you're even standing or if everything's going to work out. She says, let all of that go. She says, everything is going to be just fine. You just have to breathe. Okay. She says, everything's going to be just fine. You just have to breathe. Everything is going to be all right. That was message number 4. Oh, I'm going to have a sip of water. We are doing well. Message number 4. We're 12 minutes in. Um, I have somebody's spirit guides coming forward. So, if you are new and you haven't seen me bring through messages from a spirit guide before, let me tell you how weird it gets, because they will show me what you are doing and your surroundings at the moment that you hear the message. So, whether you're watching this live now or you're one of the many people who watch this as a replay later on, it's the important part is it's where you are when you hear the message, not where you are when this is broadcasting. Okay, so let's see what we get with that. Let's see where they're going to take us now. Oh man, immediately I can smell pasta on the stove cooking or something starchy. You know what? Like that starchy pasta smell, I can smell that. And I feel like if I were to just look over to the left, I would see the kitchen. I don't feel like you're in the kitchen. I want to be clear about that, but I can see the sort of doorway to the kitchen. And I can also see that the kitchen feels kind of on the smaller side, but it feels very nice and very wonderful. I can also see it's weird. It's like an apron hanging, but it's a joke. Like it's not something you actually use. It looks funny to me. I also feel like when I'm in the room that you're in, immediately across from me on the other side of the room is a television, and they're immediately telling me that you often feel like the TV is too far away, that it's in like an awkward place because of the length of this room. But I can see that the TV is too far away from you, directly in front of you. I can also see that whatever's on it, there's a lot of blue on the TV, and it feels like there's something ticking across the bottom. So you might even have the news on, um, Or you know what? It might even be like the channel what tells you what's happening on all the other channels, like the guide channel. It might even be that. I kind of get a feeling like it could be that. Immediately when I look to the right, I see large windows, big, big windows, and I can also see that there is a table in the window, and it looks like a small coffee table. And then I also see that there would normally be a table in front of you, but right now there isn't. So maybe that's the table that's in the window. I can see that it's got a glass top. I can see that it's got black iron or like black metal. And then there's something about a flower or floral shapes in this metal. I can see that as well. I also feel like when I look to the right of you, I can see this little tiny white animal. I think it's a dog, but I can see this little tiny white animal. I also feel like they're taking me into your kitchen, and I can see all over your fridge. There's like these. Well, there's all of these funny magnets that look like they're made out of like almost like old magazines, like 1950 style, but they're kind of like memes almost. And I can see that. And I can also see this weird chicken rooster thing on top of your fridge. So I can see that as well. So if this is where you're sitting, cool. Let us know in the chat. But what I'm getting for you in terms of a message, they're saying you are right on the brink of massive change, huge changes on the horizon. All of it very, very positive. I can also tell you that this is coming in or before the month of March. And I also want to say that the kind of change that's coming will go through your entire life. So this is going to go into your work, your career path, your love life, your family, your friendships, all of that. And it's just a big blessed period. I feel like you're going to get around between the 3rd and the 6th of March. I see changes around work or job. Maybe even it might even be a little bit closer to the 10th, but I can see that. I also want to say that you're going to be offered to go on a trip before the end of March. I don't think the trip happens at that time. I just feel like the offer is there, the opportunity presents itself. I feel like the trip will actually be closer to June or July. I can also see that there's going to be a positive change in terms of your love life and romantic life, and you're finally going to feel fulfillment. And I feel like that begins in April, but they're saying you won't know it's beginning until June or July as well. So things look really, really positive for whoever this is for. And I'm actually really excited about that for you. So it looks really, really good. I just saw somebody mention the word rooster, which came through in the reading. So let me see if this was a validation. Let's see. Where did it go? I might have lost it. The comments scroll so fast. All right. If somebody tried to validate this reading, please everyone throw some hearts on it for me so I can find it later. All right. That was message number 5. Let's see what we're getting next. All right. I have Jack stepping forward from spirit. So this is somebody who's passed on. It's male Jack, not Jackie. But I get that Jack stepping forward. Jack passed away from something to do with his pancreas. He is showing me that immediately that he passed away from something to do with his pancreas. I would place him as elderly at his time of passing. I also want to say that he was a very quiet man, a very loving man. I feel like he was one of those people that he could sit in a room and nobody would know he was there unless he spoke. And all but behind him, all I see are nature magazines, and maybe even like informative, like things happening in other parts of the world kind of magazines, like historical, anthropological, something like that. And I could see him surrounded by these things. I also want to say that right in front of him is a tic-tac-toe game, but it's made out of wood. And I don't know if you guys have seen this before, but I used to have one, but it's made out of wood. But it's kind of weird because the blocks that are supposed to be X's and O's look like dice to me. They look like dice. So maybe it's some other game that I'm not aware of, but it's like this. There's 9 blocks. There's 9 blocks on it, and they all look like dice, and they're sitting in this little tray in front of him, and they definitely fit with the tray. Like they somehow all go together, and it's some kind of a game. He is sitting there holding this in his hands with a big smile on his face. He wants to talk about a woman on Earth who's much younger than him, so it could be a daughter or granddaughter figure. He's also saying that you have been having major problems in like the ovarian uterine area and with having children and all kinds of stuff. He wants you to know that this is going to get better for you. He wants you to know that you will be able to have the life that you want. He is making reference to a surgery that's going to happen before summer for you. And he says, don't worry, I'm going to be there with you. It's all going to be fine. It's going to work out. He's showing me the 19th of a month. So maybe that's the date of the surgery. Because I feel like it's the 19th. It could be to do with him, but I really am drawn to this surgical thing. And he says, don't worry, everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to flow. You're going to be okay. I'll be there with you. He says he knows that you're scared, but he also says he knows you're excited as well. And he says, go into the excited side instead of the scared side. Okay, so that was message number 6. All right, let me come into the chat. So if you have questions, if there's things you want to ask about, if you want a reading, if you've got specific things that you'd like to ask, and the more specific, the better for the chat, share my video, right? Share it next to your question, and I'm going to go to whoever it is that I'm drawn to. Okay. Let's see. Okay, Jose Labelle, will my mental health get better? Shared. Thank you for sharing. It is going to get better. They're actually showing me your aura colors, and they're showing me a lot of orange. And orange to me is all about releasing things. It's about letting go of things. It's about no longer holding on to things. And I feel like this started in December for you. So if you've been like this a lot more since then, or it's amped up a lot, it wouldn't surprise me. I feel like when we get through this month and next month, but into the month after, I see a really big healing moment for you. I see that everything begins to shift in a direction that feels really good finally to you. They're also saying that in the month of June, and they're showing me no, the third weekend in June, specifically the entire weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they're saying you're going to be talking to this man. And this man is somebody that you already know. And he's somebody that is a genuinely good person, but people may not see that about him very easily. I think he's a little bit rough around the edges, maybe. And he feels like you know him, but he's at a distance or something. And I see you talking to him through that entire weekend. And I feel like a lot is going to make sense at that time. A lot of things are going to come into focus, and somehow the conversation itself is going to help you. So please know that even though things have been very up and down for you, they are going to improve. They're going to get better. All right. Let's see where we are going next. Okay, Sherry Norman shared anything from my loved ones. Let's see. So I am feeling a woman stepping forward for you, and she comes in as older than you. So this could be a mother or a grandmother energy. I also want to say when she passed away, I think she'd been kind of slowly going downhill for about 8 months, but I feel like when she passed, she went downhill very quickly. So that last little bit of her life went downhill very quickly in a matter of maybe even hours to days. I also want to say that she was a very supportive person by nature. So I think everything she did was always wanting to she was always wanting to support people and care about people. I also want to say that she was very spiritual or religious, maybe even herself, because she's showing me that she was very connected to divinity on earth and she's very connected in heaven. She's also saying that she's been watching over you for a very long time, which also tells me her passing is not necessarily a recent one. And she's also saying that you've been feeling very off balance in general. She's talking about a man who's alive, or maybe even a boy who's alive that's younger than you, that has also been struggling with anxiety and feeling overwhelmed. She is sending him healing and peace as well. And she is saying for you that even though you feel like a little bit locked up or constricted right now in not knowing what you're supposed to be doing or focusing on as well, she says, don't worry, everything's going to turn around in 3 months. So over the next 3 months, everything's going to turn around for everybody. So that was for I should have written your name down. I'm sorry. Once I have the name and I'm tuned in, that's about it. Robin Black shared, will my husband's health get better? It is going to improve, but I do see that it's going to be a process. They're showing me two things happening. One of these things is in the month of June. The other one is in the month of September. And the June one feels like it could happen even sooner than that. I do see him in front of a doctor at that time. I feel like the doctor's poking his stomach or his abdominal area. And I feel when I see this that he is examining something. He's looking at something. And I feel like he will have ideas of what's going on at that time. I do see that there could be some GI stuff or maybe even some stuff with his liver going on, but I feel like it will be repairable as long as your husband does his part to do so. In September, I see big changes. I see some kind of a really intensive medical thing. It's not bad. It will be planned. It's not an emergency. It's nothing scary. But I do see that he will be majorly either examined, or maybe even it could even be something surgical. But I do feel like after that, everything changes, night and day difference for your husband. All of it looks amazing, and it gets way, way, way better. Okay, Robin. So it is going to be okay. He's a really good person, by the way. As I'm stepping out of your energy and his energy, I can see around him an older gentleman from his father's side of the family that I feel passed away from something to do in here, like the heart lung area, but I'm also drawn to my head. So I think he had more than one thing happening at his time of passing. It almost has like that kind of like stroke aneurysm kind of vibe, but then I can't shake this heart attack feeling either. So it's kind of bizarre to feel both of those things. It may mean that he lived through one, but not the other. But I can see that. And this man he's telling me immediately on earth, he was nice in his way, but he wasn't the nicest person. He was very blunt, very direct. He was loving, and he showed his love, but he didn't always speak it. And I think his words could be a little bit on the harsh side. I also smell sawdust around him. So he was somebody who built things or made things. Whoever this is around your husband, he just wants your husband to know that he thinks very highly of him, that he sends him a lot of love, that he's there with him. And this is going to be weird. This might even be a climbing through the family tree, but he's showing me wings. Wings, not angel wings, not butterfly wings, not spiritual wings. He is showing me metal wings. So it could be that he had a connection with pilots, or somebody else on that side of the family did at some point. Again, it felt obscure, so it might be a journey through the family tree to figure that out. All right. Let's get some more water. All right. Anne Marie Taylor shared, "Will my sister-in-law be okay?" I'm not getting a lot more other than yes, she will. There's a major rebalancing. Maybe I'm getting more. There's a major rebalancing happening at a mental, emotional level for her. So, I'm not sure if you were referencing something more physical, but I'm immediately drawn to mental, emotional. And I feel like she is releasing a lot of old, almost trauma type energy. And this is something that has been going for a while. They're saying that she needs to go easier on herself, that she's feeling all of these emotions and even things like anger and in these intense feelings, and they're really urging her to let that flow, to let that flow through, and to even ground it out or send it up or whatever. For her, she is going to be okay. She's also letting go of all the things that she's been carrying for other people. So their stress, their worries, even their criticisms, or whatever. She's letting all of these things go. Okay, so I feel that she will be okay. Let's see. Whew, I have an older lady coming in on her own, so not connected to any readings so far. There's a very, very, very elderly lady coming forward, and she's immediately showing me that she had significant mobility problems, but she was always trying to walk, to the point where I think people kind of had to force her not to, which sounds terrible. But she's giving me this feeling that anytime someone turned around, she'd be up and trying to walk, and they were kept trying to get her to sit down or lie down or whatever. She is bringing that through. She says that you have her two pieces of her jewelry. One is a pearl necklace, but the clasp is it doesn't fully close. And then she's showing me that you have something. It almost looks like a cameo, but because I see that sort of female figure on it, and it's black and white, and I could see that there's kind of like spiky like metal around it that frames it. And she is showing me that, and that you have these things. I also feel like there's something broken about the way that attaches as well. So maybe the clasp or something on that is broken. She is saying that you've been wanting to move to the country. She says you've just been wanting to move out of town, move to the middle of nowhere. And she says that this could actually be a really good thing for you, but she says it has to be at the right time. I'm getting a huge whiff of lavender. It almost smells like lavender oil. Through my psychic ability, and I feel when I'm smelling this that this is something that you work with. So not just that you like lavender oil, like every spiritual person, the entire freaking planet, and probably other planets, but she's giving me this feeling that you really work with it. So I don't know if you make medicinal things, if you're an aromatherapist or what, but I can smell that, and this is somehow connected to that wanting to live in the middle of nowhere somehow. She is bringing this through. She wants you to know that it is a great idea at the right time. She says right now you are at the end of a difficult period. You're at what I call a death period, which is where one chapter of your life is ending and you're letting go of everything and a new chapter is beginning. So I do see that. And she's stepping back. Immediately, I'm getting a dog stepping forward from spirit. So again, this is a dog that is passed on. It feels like a very small dog. It's immediately showing me that it had cancer, and this cancer was in its intestinal tract. And this dog, I think, was one of those little dogs that thinks it's a big dog, and I feel like it feels so tiny to me. I don't know what kind of dog this is. I can feel it in my hands, and it's very tiny, and it would just like would just guard everything, intensely guard everything. And I just heard the name Winston. So maybe this dog's name is Winston or Winston's connected to this somehow. But I can see this. I feel like this dog passed away from euthanasia. I feel like this happened in the month of March or springtime. I also want to say that this dog is letting you know that they're still with you, that they're thankful and grateful for the life that you shared with them, but also they're passing. They said it was the right thing. And I'll leave you with that. All right, let's see what you guys want to ask about now. Hmm. I don't know who it was, and I didn't fully see the question. I just saw "is with me" across the screen. So I think it was somebody asking if a loved one is with them. I want to tell you that your loved ones are always with you, and there's no exception to this rule. It doesn't matter who they were. It doesn't matter if it was a person, an animal, a cactus that you kept in the window for 25 years. Whatever you have shared that bond with, when it passes into spirit, it's always with you. It's also never upset at you. It's never angry. It's never disappointed. And even if you couldn't fulfill its dying wish, it's cool with it. And I can tell you that because this is something Spirit has always told me forever. So do not ever wonder if they're with you. They always are. And just because they're may not be visible to you, or that you may not receive messages or dreams or signs, it does not mean that they're not there. And I can promise you that. Okay. So I know it's hard, but they're always with you. And I know you're probably like me and you want proof and everything. Um, Um, okay, Melissa says, I think that was my granny. She was 96 when she died. I have her cameo pin. Not sure about the necklace, and I work with oils and planning to move to the country. You know what? That's enough hits for me. I'm good with that, Melissa. It feels right. If it seems like there's enough there that's probably for you. Whew. All right. Let's see. Oh, there's a man coming in. But first I want to go into the chat. Um, Deanna Hazlitt, yes, you are on the right track, Deanna. They're saying everything's going to feel better at the start of summer. So you've got a little bit more of this ahead of you, but it is going to all work out. Don't worry. Um, let's see. Courtney Patterson, yes, it will. They're saying, and this is actually a spirit guides, not a loved one coming through, which doesn't mean a loved one's not there. It's just that this message is coming from the guides. They're saying part of the reason why the grief is so heavy is that he's in a routine of grief. They're saying to when he's ready for it or comfortable with it to kind of break out of his day-to-day routine, things will get much better for him. Laura Johnson Clark, moving. Yes, you are moving. You are moving twice, once in the end of spring-ish, and the second time at the beginning of fall. Both will be good moves. All right. All right, I'm going to bring through Sylvia Gardner shared. Thank you for sharing your message from your guides. They're actually saying right now you just need to disconnect from everything that's happening around you, that a lot of what you're feeling isn't yours. So you're empathically picking it up. All right, message number 7. I'm getting a man coming in from spirit. He comes in as young, and this young to me feels like in his 30s or 40s. Kind of, 30s or 40s. He's saying that he passed away very, very abruptly. He's giving me this feeling that he passed away from a drug overdose. He's also being very clear this was not a suicide, even though people wondered if it was. He says, not a suicide. He's bringing me to the month of December is important to him. And I'm seeing the number 6. So again, that could be the 6th of December, the 6th of a month. I could be June, but I don't feel so. I feel like this is the 6th of a month is important to him. He is showing me a red phone made, it's in the shape of lips, but like it's a phone, and I don't know where this is coming in. It could be a joke, it could be something that he had, but he is bringing this through as well. He's talking about Randy is important to him, so this could be a person on earth or in spirit, and he's coming forward for a woman on earth, and he says you are and always will be the love of my life. And he says he wants you to know he is absolutely still with you. He will continue to be with you always. And I don't know where the woodpecker comes into this, but he's showing me a woodpecker as well. Well, guys, I'm a very happy but very tired medium. I hope that you enjoyed your time with me tonight as much as I enjoyed my time with you. And if you haven't already, please like, follow, I guess it is now on Facebook, and subscribe on YouTube. And I don't know what happens on Twitch, but Twitch, my Twitch, it'll be great. So it was an absolute pleasure to be here with you. I do have an event coming up on I believe it's the 17th of February, which is a Thursday, 7 p.m. I'm doing a guided meditation and messages night. It's like this, but way smaller. And I do a guided meditation first, then we do messages like this. The whole event is 1 hour. It's $25. If you are interested, the information is on my page. And please know that the world outside right now is chaotic and it's volatile, and people are at each other's throats, and there's anger flying all over the place. The best thing we can do when we're approached by that crap is to send it light, love, peace, wish it well, don't engage in it, focus on yourself, your inner journey, and know that you are an awesome human being. And so are they. All the angry people and all the crap going on, they're awesome people as well, but everybody's being triggered right now. It's showing up at an astrological level, it's showing up at an earthly energetic level, it's showing up at a mass consciousness level. So every single person on this planet is probably going to go through this sort of dark night of the soul. The way to make that easier is to take care of yourself, take care of the people around you, and don't take anything personally. Maybe not even negativity you direct at yourself. I'll leave you guys with that. Oh, and remember, your loved ones are always with you. You're never alone. Much love, everybody. I will see you guys soon. And I think that's it. So talk soon. Take care, everybody. Bye for now.